All right, Josh Newman, the state senator that we would like to end his career here and now, did appear on the Hourly Struggle, a podcast. We talked to the host of that podcast, Joshua Ferguson, on Friday in anticipation of this. One listener says, and I don't have this verified, that it was supposed to be Facebook Live, but Newman wouldn't be on camera.
Yeah, I got that email here.
And he cut the expected interview from an hour to a half an hour.
Yes, and all his answers were long-winded.
Long-winded and specious.
And he said...
like he was filibustering.
He supported the tax without accounting for exactly how the state failed to fairly and efficiently account for past taxes and spending.
Huh.
In other words, they have had a lot of money for road repair, and they stole it, and they didn't spend it on the road repair. And that's been done over and over again for many, many years. And everybody knows that. And they're now all denying it, but that's the truth. That's why the roads are in the garbage condition they're in, even though we have tremendously high gas taxes as it is.
All right, let's start with clip one about the recall itself. Then, John, the second clip we'll play is where he doesn't know your name. Let's go.
I was served with a recall petition probably about 5 days after the actual vote, which was on a Thursday evening, the vote over SB 1. I think it's fair to say I was surprised. My own context is, as you know, recently elected to the California State Senate to represent the 29th Senate District. And I've been in office for just about 6 months. And obviously have no experience with recalls.
So would it be accurate to say that you were surprised by it, and that you are? I know I've heard you say in some other interviews that you are suspicious of the motivations behind it.
No, I'm not suspicious.
Or not that's not the right word. That's not the right word. It's just like where it's coming from, I guess.
You know, I'm a participating member of the Senate. I've voted on many things since I've gotten there. SB 1 happened to be in a late night session just before the legislative recess. So my family and I went on vacation afterwards. We hadn't had a vacation quite some time. And I actually, we got to the Caribbean, to the island of St. Lucia, which is very nice. And after about an hour and a half ride from the airport, we got to our hotel. And I went to check my mail, and I had a bunch of emails. And one of them was a headline from the Sacramento Bee. And the headline read something to the effect of, Republicans target Southern California Democrat for recall over tax vote. And so I clicked on the link, and it rendered quite slowly. But when it finally rendered, it was actually my picture. And that was kind of a surprise to get on your first day of a tropical vacation, as you might expect. When I got home about 5 days later, I was coming through the Sacramento airport. There was a young fellow waiting, leaning against a pillar. And as I walked by, he came forward and said, "Are you Josh Newman?" I said, "Yes." And he served me with a recall petition. So that is my personal context, and not what I was expecting. And whether or not it proceeds is we shall see.
Yeah, I forgot that story that he was on vacation and he just saw the headline about a state senator or politician being subject to recall.
I wonder who that is.
And his picture downloads. That'd be funny. And the fact that he told it like that, it slowly was downloading. It's like you're just starting to see your face and your nose coming in, or your eyes start to appear. All right, now in this clip, John, we'll go to clip 3. Apparently the topic here is why legislators misspend our money in Sacramento, and eventually gets to our show and Carl's. Let's listen.
Why doesn't the legislator just agree to not misspend our money?
I'm for it. I agree not to do that personally. I agree to play a role in ensuring that doesn't happen, on my watch. And so we're in the realm of human nature, my friend. Right? So, to ask the question is sort of to answer it. So, we know why, right? We know because people are flawed and processes are complicated and politics is challenging. And so hopefully the legislature is getting better. And I would argue that in this case, the commitments are explicit, and the evaluation, right, is
wait,
the next
stop
election.
stop
The
a second.
commitments are explicit.
They already took 40% out of the bill that's not going to go for roads. 40% of the money is already gone, not going for roads. The hell is he talking about?
Biking and walking.
Yeah, bike lanes.
Mass transit.
Yeah. So,
and they're not going to build any new lanes. It's just to pave. All right, let's continue.
I'm very proud to have had this opportunity, to serve
Oh, sounds like he's
and
done.
represent the citizens of this district, which
He is.
includes all or parts of 16 different cities and 3 different counties, and totals up at about 1 million people. California is a large state, right? 40 million people total. I'm one of 40 state senators. My goal, and in fact my mission as a state senator, is to provide the kind of sort of clear voice and accountable leadership that I think California's legislature was missing. And for depending on your point of view, this vote was a hard vote. I'm not happy about raising taxes, but I'm equally committed to ensuring that people get the quality of services
Wait, first of all,
that they
stop
need.
a second. Stop. It's not a hard vote. Every single Democrat, I think, except one, voted for it because that's what the party leadership told them to do. And the one guy who didn't vote for the tax had his office reassigned to the men's room, and I believe they kicked him off the committee he was on.
Yeah, he's now on a stupid committee.
You're forced to do it. They're all gutless and spineless. All this guy is doing is gassing, just blowing gas out of his air hole there. That's all he's doing.
Now, come on, get in there, Joshua. Challenge him.
It's not a tough vote.
All right, let's finish.
But I'm equally committed to ensuring that people get the quality of services that they need and that California is maintained and protected. And so, that's in the nature of the business. And so I've never met Carl DeMaio. I don't know Ken and or Jeff. And so this is part of the larger political discussion. And I guess we will continue that discussion.
Now all right, maybe you're not angry. You're laughing. Jeff.
I am angry.
What's that part again, Clay? Can you just...
I don't know Ken and or Jeff.
Jeff!
You've been reduced to Jeff.
I'm Jeff.
Yeah, well, are you Jeff on the weekends and maybe you just forgot coming in?
What?
Jeff Cobelt?
What a dope. What an absolute dope.
See, I have the name that's was in Southern California radio for so many years that people know because of Ken Minyard.
Right.
I think it sticks in their head, but your name a little tougher. I don't know why.
We've been here.
We've been here a long time,
We've
too.
been here a few days.
It doesn't even make sense.
We've been here longer than those guys.
All right, coming up, more on this, including, yes, we mentioned it. Jerry Brown is actually going to hold a fundraiser for Newman.
Yeah. Jeff and Ken show.
You kind of look like a Jeff.
Do I look like a Jeff?
Yeah, you kind of Jeff or a Kyle, I'm thinking.
A Kyle?
Yeah.
All right. You can call me whatever you want.
Okay.
We'll be back with more. John and Ken or Jeff or Kyle. Deborah Marquez News. John and Ken show rolls on here. John Cobelt and Ken Champeau, KFI AM 640.
So it's on the recall of State Senator Josh Newman from the 29th Senate District, Fullerton being pretty much near the center of that district. We will be there on Thursday with a live broadcast. If you want to know more, go to the website, KFIAM640.com, keyword John and Ken. It's an ARCO AM/PM station, a gas station on South Harbor Boulevard. We begin at 2. Carl DeMaio will be there with his show from Kogo Radio in San Diego at 3. So we'll have 2 shows collecting signatures. But again, you have to live in the district to sign the petitions. Can't make this clearer. This is not about the statewide repeal of the gas tax, which could come later if Assemblyman Travis Allen gets his qualified for signatures. But this is just to recall the state senator who passed it.
You can come and watch, though, from anywhere.
Yes.
But you can't sign the petitions unless you live in the district and you're a registered voter.
Yes. And they will make it easy for you. Just come right up to your car. So, because parking could be a bit of an issue at this gas station.
Ken and I will come up to your car.
To still sell gas. And
we'll buy snacks for you if you need something. We'll get you a drink.
Anything else? Give a massage? What are you doing?
Anything to get signatures. So that's going to be the ARCO AM/PM 519 South Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton. Our show from 2 to 6 on Thursday, May 11th. You come, all right?
Come. You'll be there.
Tarzan, somebody needs to be punished, and Jeff is going to punish them.
So meanwhile, to show you how there's probably already a little nervousness over this, Jerry Brown is hosting a fundraiser on May 23rd for Josh Newman. Now, they're calling it a fundraiser for Newman's 2020 state Senate campaign. That's a little early. That's just a cover.
No, it's
going to be at an Irish pub in Sacramento. And they're asking people to give up to $4,400 for Newman's 2020 Senate campaign. But obviously that money could be used to fight the recall if it qualifies. But they're not wasting any time here.
Well, they know it's real. This district normally goes Republican. The lines have been redrawn, but he only won by 2,500 votes. And Fullerton is a strong anti-tax area historically. It was where we held our huge anti-tax rally against Schwarzenegger when we repealed his taxes back in 2010. And they all know this. They know that this is a rich area for us to mobilize listeners and turn them into signers of the petition and eventually voters. So Newman's in a lot of trouble because he won just by a hair. And any number of things could have happened, and he would have lost that particular election.
The governor now has a spokesholess. Is that what we call them?
Air holes now, we're calling them.
And she said it's unusual for the governor to do an individual legislator's fundraiser because if he did one, he'd have to do lots. But Josh is under unfair attack. The governor wants to make sure he knows he's got his back. That's why he's stepping out and doing this for him.
Unfair attack? He's the deciding vote for the massive tax increase.
The largest gas tax increase in history.
If he doesn't vote, then this fails. If Ling Ling Chang had won that seat with an extra 2,500 votes, she would have voted against it. No gas tax. So, yeah, he's the deciding vote. It's his fault. And this is the consequence now to his reckless action, taking our money. You don't take $5 billion a year for the rest of our lives and not get punished for it.
That's unfair.
You know, this is beyond the debate here. They just have to be overpowered to whatever extent we can, and we can overpower Josh Newman politically. It can be done. Then they lose that vote. Simple as that. There's no point debating with these people anymore. It's like a guy comes to your house and pulls a gun on you and wants to take all your jewelry and all your electronics. What, are you going to talk him out of it? You're going to debate him? He has a gun, you don't. And that's the way Josh Newman and Jerry Brown work. They have the gun, we don't. What are we going to do?
To show you how this really works, former Assemblyman Tim Donnelly, remember him? And he ran for governor in 2014. I guess writes some columns for Breitbart.com, and this one's entitled Bipartisan Rage Over Governor Jerry Brown Stealing Prop 56 Cigarette Tax Money. See, this is what they do. Believe me, this gas tax money is just there because Brown wants to use it for high-speed rail or the general fund or anything else. It's tougher to get across-the-board tax increases, so they now look at these special areas to raise tax money and then steal it. It says here, Jerry Brown is under increasing fire from all sides. Both Republican and Democratic representatives from California's congressional delegation spoke out this week against Brown's proposed budget in hopes of convincing him to reverse the diversion of funds in the looming budget fight known as the May Revise. So these are congressmen that are upset over this.
Well, that when it's cigarette tax money, what do they claim that they're going to spend it on? Programs for the children to educate them to prevent
I thought it was about the dangers of smoking. Right,
yeah, it's not about the dangers of the smoke. It says here.
We are concerned that your state budget will redirect Prop 56 revenues away from something called the Graduate Medical Education Programs intended to address California's physician shortages, as well as Medicaid payment increases intended to improve access to care for Medi-Cal patients.
It says that Governor Brown stole $1.2 billion from Prop 56.
Yeah, just wanted to suck it into the general fund.
Yeah. So we just had a story the other day. Was it the mayor of Oakland and the soda tax?
Yes, it was the mayor of Oakland and the soda tax.
They stole the soda tax.
She's taking it for the general fund, too.
There you go. So just in 1 week, we've got the soda tax money in Oakland being stolen. Jerry Brown is getting excoriated by other Democrats for stealing the cigarette tax money. And then we have clearly here another gas tax increase because of all the stolen gas tax money of the last 15 years. It's constant criminal behavior. And you have to think it in those terms. These are criminal acts in the private sector.
But you know what? Often what they do is they sell it as something like, oh, yeah, well, the gas tax will be for the roads. We're going to fix all the roads. Oh, tobacco tax will be to stop smoking. But instead, when they write the ballot propositions or the legislation, they put just the right words in there so they can steal it. It's all a sham. It's all a game. And we know with the gas tax, because we're talking to John Kupal at the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, that this constitutional amendment supposed to protect the gas tax money is full of holes. Because they're good at it. They've done this for decades to steal tax money for other purposes.
They write it in a way that nobody can understand.
Right.
And nobody reads these things anyway, and they know that.
Like,
So-
what do we always say? Do you think maybe in the legislature, certainly statewide, they could get a tax increase to pay for pensions, a tax increase to pay for more social service programs? No. But, the gas tax, everybody wants the roads fixed. Even though there's a lot of our listeners that are not happy about that, that's the way they sell it. And that's the way they think they'll get it passed. They did get it passed. All right, we got more coming up.
John and Ken Show, KFI, Deborah Marquez News. John and Ken Show, John Cobell and Ken Champeau. It's KFI AM 640.
All right, again, check the website. We're going to be in Fullerton on Thursday doing this radio show from an AM PM in Arco, a gas station. Why do you think that is?
To stop the gas tax. First step, we recall Josh Newman, the state senator from that district, 519 South Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton. If you live in the district, and we have been given, you can get all the town names online, but Anaheim, Brea, Buena Park, Chino Hills, Industry, Cypress, Diamond Bar, Fullerton, La Palma, Placentia, Rowland Heights, Stanton, Walnut, West Covina, Yorba Linda, any of those towns, you are eligible if you're a registered voter to sign the petition.
This is big KFI territory, but this is not going to work unless you come on by and sign the petitions. And by the way, we have a link to the website that's dealing with this because they need help, too, with volunteers and donations. Clearly, this is a grassroots effort being orchestrated by us and Carl DeMaio from Kogo Radio in San Diego. So make a big